Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. Isn't it just an amazing thing when people get called out on their crap? Democrats say the darndest things. They're constantly lobbing accusations, they're using every ism you could possibly imagine. My opponent is a this, my opponent is a that, misogynist, racist, a Russian agent. My opponent is literally a neo-Nazi, my opponent is literally Hitler. Over and over and over again. I mean, they just say these things that are just wild. And you know, most of the time they go completely unchallenged. I mean, you can say whatever you want on CNN, MSNBC, ABC, the list goes on. Nobody on the network's ever going to actually challenge you. And as we know, leftoids love to live in their little media bubbles, in their big city metropolitan bubbles, and of course in their social media bubbles. They love spending all their time on Reddit, knowing that anybody who calls them out or challenges them is going to get instantly banned from the subreddit by some hairy back mod. But every now and then, you'll see a leftist actually get challenged on the things that they've said, and this is one of those moments. Tulsi Gabbard visited The View, where she challenged Joy Behar face to face on the fake news that she spewed. This moment was absolutely incredible and hilarious. Let me show you guys exactly what happened. Then, of course, let's get into the details. We've got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. All right, folks, I absolutely loved watching Tulsi Gabbard calling out the ladies at The View. Right to their faces, take a look at this clip.
Look, some of you have accused me of being a traitor to my country, a Russian asset, a Trojan horse, or a useful idiot, I think was the term that you used. Which basically means that I'm naive or lack intelligence to know what's going on.
They use that.
I want to let your viewers know exactly who I am.
All right.
Set the record straight. I am a patriot. I love our country. I am a strong and intelligent woman of color, and I have dedicated almost my entire adult life to protecting the safety, security, and the freedom of all Americans in this country. It was the attacks on 9/11.
We're getting a little bit far ahead of ourselves, but Franklin Graham finds you refreshing. He doesn't find me refreshing. Richard Spencer, the white nationalist leader, says he could vote for you.
Joy, this is why
you're on Tucker Carlson at least 10 times. Why don't you go on Chris Wallace's show?
This is why I'm here, because you and other people continue to spread these innuendos that have nothing to do with who I am.
Well, Hillary Clinton started it, and then you shot back at her, boy. You called her the queen of warmongers.
You doubled down, unfortunately, you doubled down on the baseless accusations that she made that strikes at the core of who I am. I'm a soldier. Because of the attacks on 9/11, I enlisted in the military to go after and defeat and destroy the evil that visited us on that day. I've served now for over 16 years, deployed twice to the Middle East during the height of the war, where every single day I saw firsthand the terribly high human cost.
Holy moly, Joy Behar was like a fish out of water. This is what happens when you're a dishonest actor. I mean, a horrible dishonest actor. There were so many incredible moments there. Tulsi Gabbard calls out Joy Behar for calling her a useful idiot. Then Joy Behar responded, well, that's a Russian term, isn't it? What? What is she talking about? And then she pivots and says, well, Richard Spencer says he would vote for you. Oh, you're a white nationalist. How incredibly dishonest. You've been on Tucker Carlson's show so many times. What is that supposed to mean? She's also on your show. Does that mean that you're a white nationalist, Joy Behar? Oh no, Tulsi Gabbard went on Tucker Carlson's show. You know, the guy who had the leading cable news show, the most popular news host in the world. Joy Behar's funny, you know. What's the implication here? That having a discussion with people who are on the opposite side of the political spectrum somehow discredits you and turns you into a white nationalist? How completely idiotic. What you are seeing is the prototypical leftist liar, squirming around like a flopping fish, frankly in complete panic mode, doubling down on dishonesty rather than being even slightly apologetic about the lies that she has told, constantly trying to justify her actions, which are clearly unjustifiable. Calling somebody a Russian agent just because, oh, well, Hillary Clinton said it, therefore, that is not an argument. That's not correct. And her final defense was just as pathetic. Well, Hillary Clinton said it, and then you called her a horrible warmonger. Yeah, that's not the frickin' same thing. Hillary Clinton is actually a warmonger. That's a provable claim. Calling Tulsi Gabbard a Russian agent? Calling her a traitor to the nation? Again, this is an important thing that we really ought to highlight. When they called Donald Trump a Russian asset, a Russian agent, a Manchurian candidate, they were essentially calling him a traitor to the nation. They said the same thing about Tulsi Gabbard and multiple other figures. The punishment for treason is capital punishment. I don't think most people realize how horrible this slanderous leftist tactic really is. And the worst part is the irony of it all. Hillary Clinton calling anybody else a Russian tool or Russian asset or having colluded with the Russians is peak hypocrisy. Let's talk about the controversy surrounding the Hillary Clinton campaign and their alleged collusion with Russian agents during the 2016 election. The Steele dossier, a document that was filled with unverified claims about Donald Trump's supposed ties to Russia, a dossier that was commissioned by Fusion GPS, a research firm that was hired by the Clinton campaign and the Democratic National Committee. Fusion GPS contracted a man by the name of Christopher Steele, a former British intelligence officer, to compile this dossier. Of course, as we know, as has been revealed, Mr. Steele's work relied heavily on information from Russian sources. One could argue that the Clinton campaign's connection to Mr. Steele, who gathered all of this phony information from Russian contacts, effectively meant that they were colluding with Russian agents to influence the election. Peak hypocrisy. But apparently Tulsi Gabbard's the Russian agent, according to Hillary Clinton. It's all so completely absurd. It's always the same thing with these people. Peak dishonesty and peak hypocrisy. They constantly lie and lie and lie and point the finger at the other side, accusing their political opponents of being guilty of what they themselves do more than everybody else. This brings me back to the whole misinformation thing. These dishonest leftists are always going on and on about misinformation and disinformation. Supposedly the left has a monopoly on good information, and because of that, they should be the ones in charge of censoring the internet and fact-checking information in the news cycle. Only they know what's really happening, and only they know the truth. Only they can be trusted to convey the truth. Give me a frickin' break. They are the biggest liars in the game, and this right here proves it. Not only do they lie, not only are they the biggest purveyors of misinformation, but when you call them out on it, when you fact-check them, when they're proven wrong, they double down, and they go through their checklist, and as a counter-argument end up accusing you of being a white supremacist. Oh, well, you're a white supremacist, therefore everything that I said is justified. Absolutely incredible. I mean, just incredible, and most importantly, incredibly stupid. The left talks about misinformation while being the biggest liars. They talk about hate while being the biggest haters, the most miserable, angry, hateful people you could imagine. They talk about racism and how their opponents are racist while they themselves are the most vile bigots on the planet. The list goes on and on and on and on. And this is yet again another example to add to the pile of evidence that we have compiled over the last X amount of years. It gets clearer and clearer each and every day now, doesn't it? Anyways, that's pretty much what I got for you guys on this one. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.